cock.
The cock's out.
You thought you liked the McRib. All right.
Now try the McCock's out.
All right. What's going on?
It comes with a toy.
Oh man. All right.
You said that with so much confidence. Jesus Christ. It comes with a toy.
Oh Jesus. So we have so my name's Eric. We're with Rick and the lovely Barry McCockiner, Zach, aka, and this is Brain Void, and we have some fun stuff that we're gonna say stuff at you today. So first of all, Zach, you can speak to this more, but happy birthday, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes, happy birthday, Macho Man. You know, the world isn't the same without him still, all these years later. And I just want to say he is in fact OCD, one cool dude, just like the doctors always told him. You know, like, dude, straight up, Macho Man, nobody runs a wrestling promo like the fucking Macho Man. Straight up, his little cup of cream, the cream, yeah. And he's putting it in the guy's pocket, and he's putting it on his head and shit. He's got a little cup of coffee, and he's like flicking it around. Ooh, you need the cream, rise to the top. Like, dude, and he's always sweaty, and his neck was so big. Do you guys know he was a pitcher? He was drafted by a Major League Baseball team as a pitcher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was like the Cincinnati Reds or something like that.
Dude, I'll look that up.
I forget which team it is now. Yeah, look it up quick. I forget which one it is. But I know he was drafted as a pitcher, and I can't imagine Macho Man in those fucking sunglasses staring you down, and you know he's just gonna fucking fire a fastball at your ass.
No, that's what fucked him up was those sunglasses. He refused to take them off, and he just never got it over the fucking plate.
I wouldn't take them off either if I looked that fucking cool. And I realized it was his birthday today. I would have bought some sunglasses to record in, even though we don't do video yet.
So Savage signed a minor league contract with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, it was okay. So I thought it was a major league contract. I was misled.
But still, I mean, he was good enough of an athlete to sign a contract with, minor league is nothing to sneeze at either, especially with baseball. So
it's not as catchy of a name, Minor Man Randy Savage. You had to switch it to Macho.
He's the Macho Man. And who can forget his role in Spider-Man as fucking Bonesaw? Like, what a dope name.
That's how I was introduced to him. That's where I didn't even know that was Randy Savage probably until like 3 years ago. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really don't even know who Randy Savage is all that
He's
well.
Bonesaw.
Yeah, he's got me for 3 minutes.
He does got you for 3 minutes. You for 3 minutes. Yeah, man. Randy Savage was lit. Like that era of wrestling, which came like basically right before like I was into wrestling as a kid, was better than my era of wrestling. Like you had like Ric Flair, you had Macho Man Randy Savage, you had the era where like Trump was in wrestling. You know, like he did a wrestling match. Fucking like when it was like prime time for the Bulls, fucking Dennis Rodman went off and did a couple of matches, which Dennis Rodman would have been perfect for wrestling anyway. But you know, you had Hulk Hogan and shit like that. Yeah, that era of wrestling was like, it was fun. Like you knew it was fake shit and the storylines were fucking wild, but the characters were fucking prime, dude. Absolute A plus. Yeah. Macho Man was also the Slim Jim guy. If you're familiar with the Slim Jim commercials.
Yep.
So do we know how he passed away? I mean, we don't have to spend too much time on his death, but
no, I honestly don't know. I know it was in like 2011 or so. I think it was like May of 2011.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm not sure how.
Yeah, it looks like he had a coronary. So that's obviously a heart issue, and we've seen that kind of represented in other movies about wrestlers. I mean, the movie The Wrestler with who the hell was it? Val Kilmer.
Mickey Rourke.
Oh,
yeah, that was Mickey Rourke. Those are very different people. Wasn't Val Kilmer Batman?
Barely.
Mickey Killer.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, they both were bloated blondes, so I just thought I'd run with it. But no,
Close enough.
Ricky Mork. Jesus Christ, it's his brother, lesser known as. No, so Mickey Rourke, but he had a heart issue, right? He had like a zipper, and he played his final thing as
Yeah.
he died. But that was about a real wrestler, right?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know what wrestler it was about, but I think it was supposed to be based on a true story type of deal. I never saw it. I heard it was really good.
Yeah, I
I
think I
never
saw
saw
it.
it.
I saw it when it came out. I think I was about 7, so I can't really remember. But I think looking back at it though, it kind of does represent. But this isn't the first kind of wrestler that we've seen pass away with like a heart issue, right? So I wonder if that's not linked to the. I mean, we got to know that they take steroids, right? Or at least like some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you don't look at The Rock and know for sure that he's using anabolics, like no disrespect to the guy. He looks incredible. He's fucking jacked. He works hard. I love The Rock to death. But like, and he'll never admit it because it'd be super bad for his image and he knows it. And like all respect to him. But yeah, man, all those guys are using drugs. They're not the drugs like we use today, of course, like because even Arnold has talked about using anabolics back in his day, and he's like, it's nothing like the shit they use now. But I mean, you got to think like when you're a wrestler at that level too, you turn into a rock star. So I'm sure like drugs could have been a thing, and maybe it just wore him down because I mean he wasn't that old when he passed,
Well,
So it's like, well,
you gotta think too, like they're putting their bodies to the ringer every fucking week, and just in order to
in the ring
recover.
even.
Yeah, pun intended, kind of. But I don't think that's like sustainable. I mean, it's not sustainable on fucking performance enhancing drugs, but it's pretty much a requirement.
Just to stay awake for the fucking. Although Ric Flair did come back for a couple of matches recently as an old man, it was very funny.
Yeah, he shouldn't have
But
done that.
yeah, I mean, it gave us the clip of I don't remember who was all in the ring, but there's the one dude who looks at him. He's like half in tears. He's like, you can see him mouth the words like, "I'm sorry, I love you," and then he just kicks him in the fucking face. Super funny. But who doesn't love Ric Flair? But who the fuck cares about Ric Flair right now? It's Macho Man's birthday. Cheers
Right?
for Macho Man.
Yeah, pouring out for the man themselves, Macho. So something that we wanted to jump into on one of those infamous segues, and I have underwear. Why do we love them? Why do we hate them?
You guys want to talk about underwear? I want to talk about underwear because I want to know if you guys have the same problem as my mic disconnects from my fucking desk. If you guys have the same problem, I might end up holding this fucking thing the rest of the day. Uh, if you guys
Routed
have
it
the
through your
same
underwear.
problem, yeah, dude. So like, I I'm a thick I have a thick lower body, not in the penile region, but like in the rest of I have the Cobra Commander legs, if you will. And like I've run into a problem recently with these underwear I bought. They're like super nice. It's the Lucky brand, right? Like they make the jeans and they make the undies. And these things are super comfy. They're like super lightweight and breathable. Like my junk has never breathed so good. But like the problem I get is like when I'm walking around and like I'm doing some work, like I'm working in the yard or I'm at my job, like walking around and working. These motherfuckers, like they crawl all the way up my butthole. And like the issue that I worry about is like if I don't wipe good enough, if I'm like one wipe short of a perfect wipe, like because like they're like gray, and shit. Like they're lighter colored, some of them. So like I just worry, and all the time, like if I don't wipe perfect, I'm just gonna wind up with a fucking streak. It's gonna find that little brown crayon, and I'm gonna scribble all over these motherfuckers.
Okay,
Like
first of all, I understand completely, but how do you wipe perfectly? I mean, you know what I mean? Like
you,
you can never ever like get that great at it. You're
well,
wiping
that's the thing.
dry.
You that's the
Well, that's a
problem,
segue.
dude. Like you gotta wipe a lot. You gotta wipe. and you got to check. Even sometimes, though, I'll be honest, man, we've all done this. Like, you even check the toilet paper and the shit's clean, and then like, you know, you're out working, and all of a sudden, like, I don't know, you let a toot go, and it's maybe a little aggressive, and like a little fucking crayon pokes out and just like signs your name in there. Like, I don't know, man. It just sucks. Like, why can't my asshole just stay closed, dude? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, wiping your ass is bullshit. And like as I go through my life and I get A, less mobile, and B, grow like bigger booty cheeks, like it is harder to get in there, man.
Okay.
It's harder to fucking clean that balloon knot off.
I hear you. And even if you wipe until you fucking bleed, like it's just never going to work. I'm not sure if I don't know. I've talked to people about this and women too. Like, how do you guys get? How are you that accurate with it? And apparently, it's morally just me. Like, I guess I didn't spend enough time there. But I think the only way to solve the issue is, adopt the Asian culture version of the bidet. You know what I mean?
Dude, the bidet, my buddy has one, and he swears by that thing. I've never used it because I don't poop at anyone. I poop at my house. That's it. I don't poop anywhere else. But he's got a bidet and he swears by it. He says that thing's fucking great. He's
Dude, when
probably
I
got the
poop,
cleanest butthole of all my friends.
when I do it, my day's ruined. Like, I'm not comfortable until I can shower again. I'm just gonna say that. Like, I can't
Oh,
trust it.
dude, absolutely. My worst nightmare happened. Rick, you were actually there. I think. Oh, maybe you weren't.
Cheers.
You might have. You might have been
Cheers.
there. You might have been there. I forget. I don't know. My
Maybe
20s
cheers.
are quite the blur. Cheers. But like I was partying at one of my friends' apartments and I suddenly had to shit like super bad. So like I shit in her apartment, but now I'm like, but what if I have no game? But I'm like, but what if these lovely ladies wants to get down and I didn't clean my fucking shit up enough? Like that was like I think I do a pretty good job, but there's always that concern where it's just like, what if they go reaching for your devil's highway? They want to take a spin and all of a sudden they find some extra fucking nonsense going on. You know what I mean?
Not
First off,
only
that's a permission thing right there.
no,
Secondly,
Oh,
do you really think you didn't wipe back? Like you didn't wipe good enough? Where if it's so fucking bad that they just stop? Like, nope, we're done.
maybe I
Dude,
don't know. I think devils.
I've
Okay, no,
never,
the taint.
I've
The
never had
taint
that
is not a
question in my
permission thing.
fucking mind.
No, it's like a fear. It's like an irrational fear. I think the taint is open. I think
Like butt
your
clouds.
butthole needs permission. I think the taint is open.
yeah. Not only have I had that same exact thought, and I'm so happy to feel validated in this very moment, but the
That's
thing
why
is,
I want to talk about this. We've all done this. I want everyone to know they're not alone.
and I just want to say that too. If you're the asshole and you're talking amongst friends, and all of a sudden one of them goes, "I've never done that," and you act like you're superior, I think I've talked about this before too. You're the asshole. You're the guy with the dirtiest asshole. That's all I'm going to say. But
All
No,
right, I
they're
feel
lying.
called out.
They're fucking lying. Yeah, yeah, Rick.
you're lying. There's no way. There's no fucking way. It's an open orifice and you can only wipe it dry. No, you got to get that son of a bitch wet. There will be times, I'm not going to get too much into it. So never mind. But, there'll be times where it's just you're like, I'm going to dab off a little napkin before it even gets started because I just know I'm not going to feel great afterwards, especially if you have a long day. Like I typically go TMI about 8 o'clock at work every day, right? It's about that's my go time.
Work. You're a brave soldier for
Yeah.
doing that at work.
It stems from when I work night shift. So every time at 8 in the morning, I'd be at home, and now my whole life turned around, and now I'm at work. So I have to use the stall. And there's always some asshole, no pun intended, just in there, just fucking like cranking one out. I'm not sure what you're doing, but 8 o'clock, I go in there and I see the boots a knocking, and I'm like, all right, handicap stall's open, time to fucking relax. So I get in there,
Got
Spread
some
out.
elbow room in there.
Yeah.
but there'll be times where sometimes I'll be walking away and I'm like, that was too risky. I got to go back later. You know what I mean? And then you're just uncomfortable
dude.
till like 9-10 o'clock feeling.
The problem. So like, I still work like on my feet with manual labor and shit. So I still get a little sweaty, and like the moment I feel any remote amount of itch, I'm like, I didn't do it. Like the problem is they have like if you're at work, they have the cheapest toilet paper. And the also problem is like I'm poor, so I buy sometimes like the shittiest toilet paper in the world. So like I'm afraid of fingering my own butthole. So I'm not into it. I don't want it. I don't want my own fingers in there. My
They have
nails are
half.
dirty and shit.
They have half ply fucking toilet paper, see through.
Dude, like literally, I've been able like you look fuck some of the places I've worked, you could just see through the like why don't you just like put a stack of printer paper in here, you fucking treat me like a goddamn zoo animal.
It doubles as window tint.
It's a suggestion. Yeah, no, I think
I just use my bare hands.
so. I've got to the point. So okay, so when I was working in production and it was nights and whatnot, I was running around sweating. There would be times when I had to go, right? But I would always also use dude powder. Have you guys ever used dude powder?
No, I like I've known of people that use that shit.
Me,
Powder off the booty.
yeah, not even the booty, but like, the Devil's Drive-Away and the Ugly Twins and the Brother. You know what I mean? So you spackle that, and it turns to paste at the end of the night. Just spoiler alert. Anyway, so you have that, and that kind of helps out with the things that we are just talking about. But also, they make this handy dandy thing called a dude wipe. You know what I mean? No H, but just a wipe. And I would suggest using dude wipes as well because they have that little aloe feeling too. So it looks like your booty just smoked a menthol.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing so much prep work for?
Hey, you want
Jesus.
It's hard for people like me and Eric to get ladies to look at us, much less have sex with us. So like we got to make sure it's an A+ experience. If I got to leave a mint on the pillow, I'm going to do it. God damn it. She's getting that fucking turn down service on my gentleman's region.
Your balloon knot is a fucking pillow now? What the hell is happening?
I think
Well,
no.
if she wants to lay, if that's what it takes,
Any attention, yeah. No, I'm going to say that's exactly it, though. I've been extremely hygienic. I think in 6th grade, a girl said I stunk once, and that was it. So I was constantly always worried about having the, shaved, cleaned, powdered, wiped, and rinsed and repeat. That's me
That's
to a
how
T.
trauma works.
Yeah,
That's how
dude.
trauma works. I don't shave though, man. I tried to like trim my chest hair once because I thought that was an issue for women. Turns out it's not. It's also not an issue for dudes, I think. But like that shit was so itchy, I never did it again. And I was just like,
Yep.
look, you know what? Someone's gonna fuck me at some point, and I'll just have to take what I can get. And it turns out like I've had relations with people that are fine, and my wife is beautiful, so I'm very lucky. I'm
Yeah,
very
and
lucky I see her boobies.
and that's really ultimately all that matters.
You just want to see
So
boobs, dude. You got
yeah,
to wipe your butt to see the boobs.
that's right.
All right. Jesus
Wipe
fucking
my ass
Christ.
boobs to see chest boobs. All right.
I don't think there are women that go through that much effort with their fucking buttholes.
No, there are some ladies out there that'll use hand soap from a fucking public restroom.
I'm not saying that they're gross. Like, I'm saying, like, just basic hygiene is enough. You don't need to go fucking buy special powders and fucking do some fluff work and shit. You know?
I don't
You're
know,
fine.
man.
I gotta be in my A+. Not all of us can be hung like a horse like you. Some of us have a little fucking. Some of us got a little fucking little guy down there. We got to make up for it somewhere.
And that means they're closer to all this shit we were just talking about. So yeah.
Yeah, they got to really get their fucking face in there.
Jesus.
I mean, preferably if I have my choice. Yeah.
Put everything in.
The balls go in too, guys. For those of you that never had sex before. I mean, yeah. The balls are supposed to go in too. If they don't, you're wrong.
If they fits, they sits.
Hey, man, I'm just saying.
No, but Rick, to answer your question though, it stems from I guess okay. So I said in like 6th grade that one girl said that one thing that one time, but like I also have had female friends that would complain about their gentleman friends and whatnot, and I'd be like, I'm not going to be that guy. I don't want to be complained about. And I'm sure at the end of the day, still probably have been. What do you do?
But we all know the kind of friends that they're talking about.
I'm like,
right?
I'm still.
They're already
though.
not you.
I'm concerned though that like because I've heard so many horror stories of like yeah like this guy was super hot but he just doesn't like wash his junk, and ever
So
since
just
then I'm
do
like,
that. If
well,
you
yeah,
do
like I
that part,
do,
you're fucking fine.
I also do that, but there's time between washes where shit goes wrong. It can all go horribly awry. And God forbid my lactose intolerant ass eats ice cream because I'm too fucking stupid to realize I'm not supposed to. And I fucking eat a Frosty and I fucking have to goddamn soft serve out my shit. The whole goddamn situation. Yeah, clean that. You can't
No,
just there.
dude.
There are times I tell you cannot just wipe away certain things. You know those times where you're like fucking 10 wipes in and you're like dripping sweat and your legs hurt and like you're just like motherfucker will I ever, and it just feels like there's just silly putty on your asshole. Like
Look.
that's the situation I don't want to be in. You have that fucking greasy. You go get yourself a fucking Val's from goddamn St. Cloud. Shout out Val's, sponsor the podcast. You get one of their burgers, and then it just fucking Montezuma's Revenge comes for you.
Dude,
Those are the situations I'm afraid
hey,
of, and that's why you need these extra steps in place.
don't
You
live
need
in
a
fear,
contingency
Zach.
plan.
Contingency plan is if you mistakenly eat a fucking Frosty, you just take the L or you risk it. Those are the two options. You don't wipe. There's no amount of fucking wiping more and powders are going to help that fucking nightmare that's about to happen.
I don't know, man.
Oops, I
No,
accidentally a large
Eric-
Frosty.
You can't say I don't know, man. Okay,
No, dude. No.
There's no amount of powder that can save a fucking Frosty volcano out the ass. Okay. I just killed Zach. There's no fucking
Literally
way.
almost threw up.
So take the fucking L, go home, wash the shame off, and try again tomorrow. It's fine. Jesus Christ. Like, no, I gotta be fucking I gotta have my scrubbies all the fucking time. You're walking out of the goddamn
Okay. All right.
scotch pad.
Dude, I have an idea. First of all, I almost fucking threw up. Like literally. You caught me at the worst time, dude. Oh, literally almost puked on the floor. I think we should make and market like a keychain loofah, so you can scrub your butthole in case.
Dude,
Yeah,
we'll
but
call
you
it the
gotta find
butthole
water.
in case.
It comes with a little spray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. We'll call it the McCockiner.
I thought you were making fun of me. I didn't know you were actually trying to say something.
the McCockiner.
That was regular.
Speaking of sticking McCockiner, clean up with McCockiner.
I just want to say one thing though, to Rick's point.
The ad's right itself.
The fact that so obviously, it's like you're a Marine in wartime. Like you're gonna do your best to be battle ready, but at the end of the day, you're gonna go home with the win, right? In this case, the lady or whatever. But like,
well, if you're American, yes,
yeah,
then you get the dub.
You get the dub. But so you're gonna do your best. You're gonna bring your fucking your parachute, your reserve chute, your sniper, your whatever. But then when you hit the field, all that shit could fall away, and then you're just like, all right, I'm still here. I'm still gonna do it. So
procure on site.
So you do your best to prepare for it with the idea that you prepare for the worst and you hope for the best. That's all I gotta say.
Procure on site is what I tried to do with all the ladies, and then I just wound up playing wingman for someone else and going to bed alone.
Thanks for that, Zach.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, you're welcome, man. Anything for you, buddy.
So
I hope it worked out.
Look, I work with a guy. There's a guy at my work that he's in the fucking locker room and he smells like he bathes in his fucking. And I guarantee he was told that thing you were talking about, Eric. He was told he stunk once in fucking 4th grade, and now he fucking showers in the shit. Okay,
like Axe
that's
body
overkill.
Style?
Yes,
yeah,
dude.
Just like he goes through 3 cans a fucking night. It smells like that. I swear to God.
That's different. That's a guy who doesn't shower. That's a guy who doesn't shower. If you're a gentleman, if you're a fucking gentleman, you care about the lady. You wear ball deodorant on date night. On date night, right? Just to keep
ball
a little
deodorant.
something.
No, I don't ball deodorant. I mean, like I shower.
That's pretty presumptuous of you, Eric. Jesus.
Ball deodorant.
Yeah.
It's never failed me. And then you have crop preserver. So during the day, a long day, that's it. Gets you through the day.
Oh my fucking God. When do you apply that shit next to the guy in the bathroom you're talking about?
No,
You're
man.
calling him the weirdo?
No,
Eric, you have your own office. You got your own office. You can just like
Get out, I'm in here.
pull
I
the
do.
pants open, give yourself a little spritz.
It's the one little spritz, yeah. But I don't see the thing is it's a waste at work because it's work. You're gonna be it's work. It's a long day. But like on date night, yeah, why not?
At
Anyway.
date night, you have the opportunity to be like, hey, first off, you guys are both fucking spoken for. So especially now, it's like, hey, I'm gonna go shower quick.
Yeah,
We'll
I
fucking
get
get
that.
on.
Yeah,
But it's like,
my house is freezing though. I only look impressive after a heater's been on it.
take a hot shower, dude. What the
Shrinkage!
fuck?
I was in the pool.
I was in the
It's in the-
pool.
It's really hard to look
R.I.P..
cool right now.
Dude, George Costanza got robbed, man.
You know,
did.
To be fair, he's kind of trash.
it
George
sounds like
Costanza's kind of a piece of shit.
He was.
it sounds like you guys don't want a solution, so I'm out.
No, Rick. No, we get it. We get it.
We
Your
have
balls
a
smell like the
solution.
fucking Appalachian Trail in the fall. All right.
What does that smell like?
You smell like
Nature.
Arthur Morgan.
Damn it. All right.
You're all right, girl.
You're all right, boy.
All right.
Or boy, whatever your
Well-
disposition is.
Speaking about our clean meatballs, Zach, Ron the
Jesus.
Centaur.
Goddamn Christ.
Rick, if you don't
I
like
would
it,
like.
love it.
I want it. We need theme music. Someone write us some theme music. I would like to introduce a new segment to the podcast called the Meatball Ron Moment.
But
And
at
this is
that,
where we talk about Meatball Ron. Thank you, Richard. That was
that's all I
perfect.
got at the moment.
It's been written. The theme has been written. I know last week we talked about his shoes. I know we talked about his shoes quite a bit. And I haven't seen him do anything absolutely heinous in the last couple of weeks, aside from his shoes.
I will say we can talk about the shoes again because there's been a video that surfaced this past week of him walking off the stage like in pain because
Oh,
he's in heels all
yeah.
night.
That is, I have seen that. Yeah, he's kind of hunched over, and so
Okay,
yeah, yeah. No, you're
Okay.
right. That is, I forget the timeline of when we last recorded. So we could talk about his fucking shoes first of all. This guy, I think he's listed at like 5'11", right? And what does Trump list himself as? Like, is like 6'2",
Oh, he's like 7'2", fucking
6'3",
180
250.
pounds. He's a twig, man.
4% body fat. He
He's just
competed
been
on the Mr.
crushed by
Olympia
Earth's gravity,
stage.
that's all.
Yeah,
And he
so
leans weird.
I think it's funny
He
that
leans like a centaur.
like Ron DeSantis is trying so hard to win that he knows this fact. Okay, so like it's been God damn it, it's been always the tallest like candidate wins, or like the taller candidate has won a ton of times, right? Like you have a better chance to win if you're taller, and this cocksucker knows that shit. And so he is putting lifts in his disgusting boots. Like these things are ugly as sin, and he can't walk in them now. At some point, he's going to have to admit it. I don't think he's been called out on it yet, like in an interview. But 110%, like there's been boot manufacturers that have come out and said, like, this brother is wearing lifts in his goddamn boots. 110%.
Dude, his shoes look worn too. Like they look like my mom's 1980s boots that she hasn't worn in 25 years. Like that's what they look
And also,
like.
they
He's
don't
only been
match his
running-
fucking suit. They don't look like it. They don't match shit. I don't know how to match nothing. But like those shoes do not match his goddamn suit. One bit.
No,
This
they do
dude's
not.
out here wearing these fucking heinous footwear. Fucking laughing in each other's mouths. Laughing with his mouth all the fucking goddamn way open. Because he thinks that's how human beings react to fucking jokes.
Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo. And I just saw the video again where he's does that fucking cheesy ass smile. I'll be your president.
Hide the Pain Harold, like I said. He
Yeah.
does a Hide the Pain Harold impression. Fucking
is.
A, man. I think Trump has picked up. I forget what he said, but I think Trump has picked up on the lifts in the shoes thing or the him walking funny thing. I can't remember what he said. Trump has said he's starting to. He went after Meatball Ron a little bit recently. And interestingly, I think Nikki Haley is the one who's running like a $10 million campaign against Meatball Ron, which like you don't have to spend that much money to beat this guy. He's very beatable. You don't got to worry about Meatball Ron. He will not be our next president or any of our presidents. We're not going to have to remember Meatball Ron's name.
So Donnie T said, according to the New York Post, I'm not sure how reliable they are. America knows Ron DeSantis loves boots with lifts inside of them and Puerto Rican statehood. So we couldn't think of any Christmas governor. Maybe that wasn't him. But he's in there somewhere. I'll
Believe it.
cut this part out. I can't fucking find it. Nikki Haley said something.
Yeah, Nikki
Is that her
Haley's
name?
been talking shit about him, which is weird.
Let's see here.
I want to see him get called out on stage about his fucking boots.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
take them off and
Someone's
show the
gotta-
fucking camera.
Yeah, I want to see you take one off and then stand flat-footed because one of those knees is going to be fucking bent, bro. Deeply. Like, nah. It's like when your mom's like, "Oh, I think these shoes this will be your size, stand up. Let's see how they fit." And then they don't fucking fit and she buys you the wrong size fucking shoes.
Yeah. Except he
Like
bought
he's
them.
wearing Well,
On
yeah,
purpose.
except this time he bought them, put lifts in them because he's a fucking dork.
See,
He's
so concerned
tries
about
so
like,
hard.
hey, taller presidents get fucking the job more often. You know what also helps you get the fucking job more often is if you have good ideas or any ideas at all, other than fucking trying to scare Disney out of your state or whatever the fuck.
Maybe
I
be
don't know.
less fascist. Being less fascist is like generally raises your electability
I don't
in
know,
my
man.
experience.
DJT got elected.
So
Dude,
Donald,
and honestly, he's making a run at it again. It's so
I know.
fucked.
It's so like again, people at work, they're wearing these fucking Trump hats and Trump shirts and FJB and all that, and it's like, really? That's your fucking guy, huh? Captain, I'm gonna
Trump-
fucking silence everyone that disagrees with me and criticizes me. That's the guy that says, yep, he should be in charge of a fucking democracy. Fuck
And
you.
I think Trump is fascist out of ignorance, man. There's no way he knows the
his
playbook
fucking
he's using.
idols are all fascists. His idol, he idolizes fucking Putin and fucking Winnie the Pooh, Xi Jinping. He hates it when you call him Winnie the Pooh. That's why I said that. Apparently.
so
But
Donald, go ahead.
that's
Rick.
it. He idolizes fucking assholes.
Authoritarians.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the word. Sorry, I've been drinking.
All right. So Donald Trump said, so the guy have high heels outside, but inside he got a big deal going on, and he's walking off the stage like he's trying to balance himself. I thought he was wearing ice skates. Yeah, so that's what he said.
Jesus. You're getting good at that, man.
Well,
Holy
it's the
fuck.
weight gain.
Really good. He's been good.
Hey, what are you up to?
I'm sorry
210, 215?
Yeah.
I wish.
He's getting the body. I'm starting to think that that Eric is just Donald Trump in an Eric mask.
Dude, it's the
Right?
hair. No.
You got to get the mad, weird comb over, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, when the
The
hair blows my
wispiness.
way, it stops air and time itself. Yeah, he's an interesting fella, the Donald J. Trump.
He's an asshole. There's nothing interesting about him. He's a fucking dickhead.
You can't deny he's not interested.
Yeah.
Yes, I can. He's
He
not
drinks-
interesting. He's a lame piece of shit who gets away with everything. There's nothing interesting.
I think it's
He's
an
a-
interesting study in how people react to him, I think is what it is.
Right. It's an interesting study in how to make fucking morons more authoritarian, like in favor of authoritarianism. Like, hey, this guy's the only guy that can save us. This fat fucking idiot who's so out of touch with reality that he fucking he doesn't know what's going on ever. And he convinces you that he does, and he draws fucking Sharpies on maps because he can never admit that he's fucking wrong. That's your guy.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your fucking. He's your savior.
Yeah, well, he's gaining a lot of
wild.
steam again though, they're he's that army or whatever Trump was saying before the podcast. Zach was saying before the podcast started that Trumpet has an army.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. So like, I need to look into who it
Nice one,
was.
Eric.
I need to
Fuck
look into
you.
who it was, but there's an organization that is keeping, or that is building, I should say, and keeping. I think Oracle, like the tech company Oracle, they do a lot of database management, different things like that. Um, they're the ones holding this database full of people that are deemed worthy of being in this like Trump army thing. So it's based on your political views and different things like that. Um,
How
and
far
they're
are you willing
building
to put
like
his
an
dick in your mouth?
kind of, yeah, like that's kind of the thing. It's yeah, I was trying to find the like what actual organization is building this, but they're building
Here, I can
this
look at
giant like 50,000 strong army to support Donald Trump should he be reelected. They want it's a bunch of people that are going to try to install themselves in government positions that can uphold and influence policy, which is
Yeah,
horrifying because
like people, who think they have the best ideas and like lay them out for people to be convinced of them would do, right? They don't want to take it by force with a fucking army. They want to convince you with their ideas in
well,
a
speaking of
democracy.
force, like I've seen headlines and I haven't read them, so I don't want to spread too much like misinformation or anything like that. But I've seen rumblings like in that manner of um essentially talks of like Trump's campaign wanting to expand the powers of the president again should he be reelected, which
Right.
is a thing he spoke about, before, is basically just saying like, well, fuck, like I should just be able to make it so I can just kind of do whatever I want, sort of thing. Um, which is it's wild to me because a lot of these people that support him, a lot of the ones that aren't batshit crazy, right? Because there's the batshit crazy ones that like are absolute Trump ride or die people, support him, like, and they're just they're deep throat the boot. But there's other people that support him for reasons I never understand, and a lot of those people talk about like government overreach and they're making me I can't scream the N word out the window anymore, and that makes me really upset because I want to be racist openly. And they talk about all that shit, but then Trump talks about actively doing government overreach and getting rid of checks and balances and damaging
Right.
democracy.
Right.
And they just go like, "Hell yeah, brother. Like this is America. What the fuck is a
Yeah.
kilometer?
They're
Like
fine
let's
with it as
go."
long as their side's doing it. And that's the
No,
double
absolutely.
standard. That's the fucking, it's like, dude, you don't understand the precedent you are setting by being okay with it when it's your team. Okay? So and they lack any sort of empathy and understanding of like, hey, this severely fucking goes after so many people that aren't you. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. It's not me. What?
Oh, that's literally it. I know we've had like, I mean, they're bullshit Facebook debates. They don't fucking mean anything. But I know we've had basically debates over, universal healthcare and things like that. And I've gotten sucked into like when you were on Facebook more often, with like some people that interacted with you that like literally would tell me like, yeah, I don't care if insulin is so much that it might bankrupt you. It's not my problem because it's not me.
Yeah, I don't want to
Which it's
have to
like,
pay
dude,
for it.
yeah, which is like for 27 years, motherfucker, it wasn't me either. But there
Right.
could be a day where you wake up and buddy, it's you. Like,
Right.
and
And
whether it's cancer or this or that, like it's you, buddy.
the insane part is they can't connect those dots until it happens to them. That's what
Oh,
blows my
100%.
fucking mind. Like, you can see it happen to people around you. You can see it happen to your friends, your family, and you don't give a fuck. You are so fucking callous to the idea of
Yeah.
wanting to help someone else out, to have your money going to help them. That's the thing. America's fucking mean now.
Oh, God,
We're
yeah.
just like, there's a bunch of fucking assholes that would rather see people lose their fucking houses, their lives, everything they've ever worked towards, rather than help them out, rather than have their tax money go to help them instead of fighting another stupid fucking war. All I want is fucking healthcare so I don't lose my house if I get sick. If I get sick bad enough, I lose everything. Nobody
Oh,
fucking
we need to
cares
give it
about
to
that.
Israel. We need to give it
Right,
to Israel
yeah.
to bomb children. Jesus Christ.
Geez, I can't fucking stand that mentality. And again, it's a complete lack of empathy, and I feel like a part of it, a part of the inability to empathize with people is the fact that people are struggling day to day. When this isn't an excuse, but I feel like this is something that's been overlooked in a lot of other like podcasts I listen to or debates on shit like what should be done. It's people lack the empathy, and the reason why, the biggest reason why, is because they're struggling themselves. When you're so fucking worried about what's going to happen to you, you can't be bothered to worry about what's happening to somebody else.
Your cup isn't full. Like you can't really give any more, you
Right.
can't pour any milk for anyone else because your milk isn't full. I don't know
And
why I
so
use milk. I'm lactose intolerant.
but
That's
so
stupid.
instead of all of us being like, hey, we're all in the same boat, the major flaw in their reasoning is, okay, I'm struggling, I don't want it to get better for anyone else because I've had to struggle. That is the inherent flaw in their thinking, in my opinion, is because they don't want anyone else to have it better because they've had to struggle to get where they're at. And I think that's just wrong. You should want
No, it's
people to be better off than what you've had to do.
it should be easier. Every generation should be easier. And with technology, it should be incredibly easy. Like we should have to work about 20 hours a goddamn week at this point
Yeah.
because, whatever, but instead they just have us fill out Excel spreadsheets that like don't mean anything and
Dude,
do
have you
PowerPoints and
speaking of that, have you seen like the insanity on the 32-hour work week?
I've seen it's been like people are pushing for it and
Like people
fuck, I
can't.
strongly support that shit.
Yes, but I'm saying like the people that are against it just cannot comprehend a 32-hour work week.
Dude, I've done a 32-hour, like I've done one during COVID. They cut our hours down to 32 hours, right? Like a lot of companies cut hours and things like that when there was that kind of period where everyone's like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, man, I got just as much done, like
Right.
literally. And I had that extra day off, all that shit. That was fantastic. All that extra time off, I was fresh.
There's so much fucking and okay. Do you know what the average fucking weekly hours were before labor unions actually got us the 40-hour work week?
It was like 60 or some shit. It was something
61
wild.
hours a week was the average fucking worked, what was the norm before and then labor unions fought and got us the fucking 40-hour work week, and people just cannot wrap their heads around. Think about how much bullshit happens in your day-to-day at work. Eric, I'm sure you can attest to this too. Like there's so much
Oh,
just
Eric
fluff.
knows better than both of us.
There's so much fluff, right? You're just fucking off and just like, all right, just waiting for it to be end of shift so I can get the fuck out of here. There's nothing left for me to do that I could start. What are we doing, right? But I got to stay here because I get paid by the fucking hour, and it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know that there's an easy solution, but it's fucking frustrating to deal with the fucking antiquity of a 40-hour work week because it's old.
The thing we have technology that has increased our productivity now, or has the ability to increase our productivity by a ton, right?
Yeah.
We have computers that do insane amounts of shit. But also like there's a thing where you really only can focus, like really truly dig into a task for like probably half your day. Like after about 4 hours, like I challenge fucking anyone to come at me with this. If you put your phone down, you put your headphones in, and whatever it is you do, whether it's like you're fixing cars or you're fixing machines or you're at your computer doing fucking spreadsheets or doing payroll, I don't give a shit. I want you to truly dig in and be 100% fucking hard on that shit for more than like 3, 4 hours for your day. And then you
Dude,
burn. You're done. Your
I can
brain is
attest to
toast.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
at my
dig in.
job, I'm turning fucking wrenches, and there's a problem I cannot solve. If I like at the 3 or 4 hour mark, if I take a step away, I usually figure it out on my way to take a break. Like fuck, that's what it is, and then I'll go take my break or whatever. I'll fix it, and then I'll go take my break. But whatever it is, like more often than not, walking away from the fucking thing I've been just beating my head against the wall trying to solve, it just comes to me as I'm taking that
Yeah.
fucking time away from it.
No, dude. Okay, so the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. Huge. Highly recommend for everyone. Part of the Brain Void book club. But like he talks in there a lot about how things like that, where like you can only truly focus for a certain amount of time before you kind of get burnt out. And he does talk about the importance, or a lot of books I've read talk about the importance of like stepping away, taking a walk. You know, one of the greatest tools I have as I'm like learning programming and things like that is if I can't get something to work, there's a bug and it's stupid and I don't know what the fuck and I've changed everything and I've looked for every semicolon that I might have missed and whatever. Uh, I'll take my dog for a walk and I come back and sit down and it's usually right there. You know, or it's I'm usually closer or I have a new idea, like a new path to walk down. So it's like if you give people 32 hours, the trick is now, I think the trick now that we're finding, like if you look at how everything works and the knowledge that we have on how your brain works, how people work, like literally do a job, like they we can only focus so much and you gain more productivity by being fresh than by just shoving through for another hour or two,
Right.
right? So like someone can work 12 hours in a day and be exhausted for the next day and do another 12 hours. And yeah, they're going to do 24 hours of man hours, right? But if I do 8 good solid hours, I don't fuck off and I don't like hit on Karen from accounting and I don't like talk to my bros about how many brewskis we're gonna drink this, like, and you're not fucking off by the water cooler, which is like what every, okay, if you have a business degree, I'm sorry, but like that's what your business degree teaches you to do is just fuck off by the water cooler and like fucking go hit on the girls in accounting and HR. Like fuck you, I'm sorry. Like do your coloring book and go cry somewhere else. Get a real degree. Like, yeah, you fucking assholes. I'm over here trying to fucking change the world. You just got to do a coloring book and a paper and you graduate. But like fucking you, if I come in fresh after a good, I do 8 hours, I go home, I hang out, I like play some video games and eat a good meal and fuck my wife and get 8 hours of sleep and come back in for another good 8 hours of like fucking hanging out and actually doing work, you gain so much more on that back end. Like, I don't know, man. Like it just makes more sense to actually be fresh every single fucking day, man. Like I don't know. That's just
No,
uh that's just how I feel about it and that's what my experience has been. No amount of like Monster energy drinks can make up for it.
no, I think you're 100% right. I even so I adapt that into my everyday process too. When I'm at work, I make a point of like going out like with my coworker, and we go walk around the plant for a while, and we like talk to people, answer questions on the fly. And the way I look at it, the way I look at my kind of job is like if you get to a certain point, like where I'm at right now, I can answer some pretty like gimme questions, like hey, how much vacation do I have left, or like what happens when I want to retire and shit like that. Like to me, those are like fly balls, like whatever. I'll take them every time, but they keep your brain kind of fresh. But if you're constantly in your office, then you kind of don't exercise that part of your brain, or at least have that social dynamic anymore. You're just kind of more of a hermit, and you're just plugging away whatever bullshit project some asshole decided to give you because they thought you're not working enough. So I'll take that break, but with that break is coupled with work still, and it's easy work. It's kind of like you said, Zach, a coloring book where it's like it's still
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the most complex thing in the world, but you still have to know how to navigate through it. And if you do it correctly, it looks beautiful. So that's what you do on the other end of the thing. And then when you go back to your office, you're like, all right, I built up the confidence in myself to complete this huge task I have. Maybe it's a project or whatnot. But you also see that like you help somebody, you're still fresh with the policies and the HR things like that. My sister this morning called me and asked about her husband's job because something happened, and the way they were doing things was low-key shady. And just from any kind of generic HR standpoint, I told her, hey, here's what he should do, here's what he should expect, and things like that. But it's just one of those things where it kind of makes you, and it's kind of selfish in a way too, because it makes you feel good for like being able to help somebody, regardless if it's professionally or not. But my point was, long story long, is taking those walks, having those breaks built into your day, really does create more of a better work environment. And I can attest to the fact that it does allow you to get more things done.
It's your brain will work on shit in the background, right? So if like you have a specific problem you're plugging away at that you can't figure out, if you step away from it, like your brain still the trouble that a lot of people come into is they get stuck in a loop, right? You get stuck in a loop of like, okay, I need my Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, like this is what it is. Why is it not this? What if I try it again? What if I hit the enter key harder? What if I turn the wrench harder? Like, what if I put the fucking sensor, like what if I plug the sensor back in one more time really good, like, and I really try hard and believe in myself, and
Bigly.
yeah, like I really uh it's just it's not the problem, so you get stuck in that loop, and you can break yourself out of that loop when you fucking just take a goddamn minute and like step back, and the 32-hour work week allows you to step back for enough hours that you can go like hang out and like have a life. Like go do something else.
So the vast majority of us work to live. We don't live to work. So Eric, final thoughts. 32-hour work week. What does your inner guy above you have to say? What would he say about it?
Liberal sissies. Uh,
I
he
feel like
he
that's accurate. I don't even know the guy.
Get back in there, you fucking cog.
he's pretty. I don't know. From my perspective, I mean, he's a early Gen Xer, but very much like a pull yourself by the bootstraps. Like you're here for work, don't complain when you have to do work type deal. But I think overall, like if it happened, he'd probably embrace it. He'd embrace it, opposed to be like, we're not doing that. This is how we're running until. From my perspective, I guess I would say that I would welcome it. Obviously, just for the fact. I mean, it also could alleviate, and I know this is a gimme, right? It would alleviate depression. It would alleviate, the lack of job satisfaction when it comes to people my age or people that have been in the same boring, fucking mundane path since they graduated college with that shitty business degree. But I think that when they get to that certain point, and if that's something that can happen, I mean, Christ, you look at it this way: when people take vacation, right? When it's manufactured into the work week, when they take vacation. Let's say you take vacation on a Wednesday and you work Monday through Friday. Like you're going to come back Thursday and you're going to be almost rejuvenated because you're like, I have 2 more days to do this shit, and then it's the weekend again. And then if you kind of like work it out that way, where you get a break. Even working on a 4 crew when I was working in the plant and on the production floor, um, we'd work 15 days a month, and you'd work 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 3 days off, whatever, however way it worked that way. But then you come back to work, you're like, okay, I have this amount of hours before I get this amount of time off again. And you can kind of come into work with this idea that it's not going to be a monotonous bullshit thing. Like regardless if it was, shift work, it was still easier to come to work on a 4 crew working 12-hour days. Obviously, we're still working, average of 84 hours a work week or a pay period. But you'd come into work more rejuvenated, opposed to what I work now, which is a 40-hour week, Monday through Friday. It's like I'm dead come Friday night, Saturday. Like I sleep in Saturday, half of Saturday's ruined. Then I get anxiety on Sunday because I have to rinse and repeat come Monday. It's just kind of a fucking weird cycle, and I'm sick of it. So I very much will welcome the 32-hour work week.
There's a lot of good stuff with it.
One more day before anxiety.
Yeah, one more day. So we've been talking a lot about debates. I'm gonna try and actually segue here, and I actually like legitimately was interested in this take. I had like an actually kind of half smart idea. I don't want to end on this. I still want to end on our other thing, but I wanted to get this. So I was debating people. The debate itself doesn't necessarily matter, but for context, we were discussing in the context of the sport of powerlifting if sumo deadlifts and like very small range of motion bench presses should count or if a rule change should be enacted. Now, also for context, it was me and 2 other people in this chat of like 7 that have actually competed in powerlifting, and I think only 2 of us have actually done a full power meet with all 3 lifts. Okay, and I'm probably the most experienced powerlifter in this group chat. Like I've been around it for a decade and competing for half of that. So I had kind of I was like, okay, these people are going to have to really come up with something good to convince me that a rule change needs to be enacted, right? It's just kind of like when, like Eric, you would look at rules with football and you'd be like, okay, there needs to really be a good reason to enact a new rule generally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a really good purpose. And and I put in the chat because some of these people I don't actually like know personally. I was like, hey, like I'd been kind of pushing back on stuff for a while. And I was like, okay, like I just want you guys to know, like I'm not trying to be a dick here. I know I'm probably coming off as being a dick because you only know me through like text, and I know that can be weird. You know, I was like, I'm not being a dick. This is a conversation. I'm really going to get in the weeds about it because that's just who I am as a person. Whatever. And someone responded with, I don't think you're being a dick. I just think you're not open to other opinions. So that's where this comes in. This is where my thought comes in. I kind of realized because this person also not open to my opinion, right? So what I kind of realized and what I'm interested in your take on is does like when someone says that, when someone just tells you, "Oh, I just think you're not open to other opinions." I think what that means and what I realized I think that means is you're not open to my opinion and that's frustrating to me. Right? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing that I've found with debate to be the most effective is first off, you have to steelman your opponent's, your interlocutor's stance, right? You have to define the best argument that they have in the best way possible to them and then have them agree to it. The second and then after that tell them why you disagree with it. The second thing that I actually found more effective in just like day-to-day, because the average fucking Facebook bullshit
God,
debate
yeah.
about stupid shit, especially politics, is asking questions. The Socratic method.
All
Um,
right.
you pose your you don't even you never confront them on it. You just ask them questions and have them follow you through this reasoning, these reasoned out questions to a conclusion. And
Right.
essentially that gets to where you ended up in the first place by asking those same sets of questions. So they ended up getting there without any confrontation. I feel like that's if they get there themselves or they think they got there themselves through a set of questions instead of being confronted and having their fucking sometimes
Intelligence
a
Their
big part of their
defenses aren't
personality.
raised.
Right. Yeah, their defenses aren't raised, especially you both have to come to it in good faith, right? If you have a bad faith fucking asshole that's just there to like try and own the libs or own the fucking power lifter that is you,
Right.
you're not going to get anywhere. But if you both come in good faith and you ask a lot of questions and you try and get them to where you're at with those questions in a reasoned out way, they have no choice but to agree with you if it makes sense.
See, I think part of the problem I ran into here, which is again, it's an individual problem with this particular type of conversation is like this dude, like he runs a personal training business and thinks he knows. So he has to be an expert in his day-to-day life when clients come to him and say, "What should I do about this, that, or the other thing?" So I
Okay.
think when I come to him, which I'm fairly certain I've been around training longer than him, like I don't have I probably have more formal education. I have, half a degree in exercise science before I dropped out of that. Like I have formal college education in this. Um I think that's hard for him to have just some guy. Like right, like if it's some and he follows some heinous shit on Instagram. I know he does. Because I've seen him interact with it. But if it's Dr. Mike Israetel or if it's someone with like a big following or whatever, like telling him like, oh, this is good, this is bad, that might be one thing. But when it's just me, like just some fucking meathead, coming to him, I think that hurt. Because like I did try to walk him down the path of, hey, if you think there needs to be a standard range of motion on these lifts, what standard are we using? Because your deadlift looks different from mine, or your bench press looks different from mine. Because you know I'm I'm legitimately 4 or 5 inches taller than the guy. So it's like, are we using your body type standard or mine? And then, because that advantages you over me because now I got to do
Right.
some weird shit to, whatever.
Because
So,
physics. Right.
right, because physics and because leverages and that like that's all powerlifting is and whatever. Like I can go into the weeds because it's powerlifting and I could do a whole other 2 hours about it. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting when he said that and a light bulb went off where it's like, no, it's not that you find that I'm not open to other things. It's that I'm not open to what you are saying. And I'm not giving enough credence to like your argument on this, which is a stupid fucking argument.
I
Sumo is not cheating. It's fucking hard.
the thing I would say to anyone that says how to word this though being fucking sounding like I'm a pretentious asshole myself. I
We
would
all do.
encourage
We have a
like just
podcast and we're white guys. Like, fuck it.
all right, I'm already sunk anyway. I would just say convince me of it. If you have a sound fucking argument, I won't be able to refute it, and any reasonable person would be convinced. But if he doesn't have the standards that he wants to go off of and things like what you're asking him for, then he really hasn't thought this through to its conclusion. I would say spend more time on that, and if you can come up with a way that could convince me that this makes sense, I'll agree with you. I'll change my fucking mind. I'm not opposed to that. But for some reason, it's been fucking forever. Society has this thing where if you change your mind, you're weak or you're stupid. No, it takes a strong fucking person to be like, you know what, I was wrong and I changed my mind.
I've changed my
It
mind
takes a
on a
weak
lot of
person
shit.
to dig in and fucking say, no, I'm gonna fight you to the fucking end on this. I'm gonna die on this hill for something stupid. It's like, no, how about no, that makes more sense. I'm gonna do it your way now. Thank you. The thing is, like, when I come up with a fucking idea, and maybe I'm weird to do this, but I try and ask people to tear it down, poke holes in it, find the weaknesses, see what I'm not seeing, so I can make it better.
Well, I finish every question about stuff with, or am I wrong? Or something like that. Or like, or am I just missing something? You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
I'll be like, hey, I think this, but is there something, is there a gap? You
right.
know? I'm always like
It,
I'm open to being fucking stupid because I'm not very
the
smart.
the one
So
question all the free thinkers and conspiracy theorists will never ask, or am I wrong, or did I miss something?
yeah, man. Okay. Yeah. So I want to talk about conspiracies. It's not really a conspiracy. I do want to talk since we're almost to the end here. I still want to talk about Wim Hof and
Zoom
conspiracies
tight.
kind of make sense. I want to talk about Wim Hof. So for anyone who doesn't know, uh, and for Rick
That's how you
who
segue,
that you didn't
motherfuckers.
know, yeah, right. Take notes, Eric. Take notes. Engineering degree 1, business degree 0 in the Segway class.
I
We
didn't
were we
even know
weren't
what I
taught
was doing.
segues. Yeah, my writing class did not teach segues.
Tell you what,
But
can I just say one thing? You put you guys in a fucking podcast and you try to steer whatever your goddamn convoluted minds get to.
No, I'm gonna put us guys in a band and then fuck
Ah,
off for 10 years.
yeah, where you have to be
somehow
quiet and
come out
play
with
your
an
instrument.
album.
Bah.
All right.
Boom, front butt. But Wim
Sorry,
Hof,
go ahead.
so he's this I think he's a Dutch guy. I think he's Dutch. He's a Dutch guy
Yep.
that he was nicknamed the Iceman. So he said he came up with this sort of breathing technique that would allow you to utilize brown fat in your body better. Ooh, and deal. I'm clipping out. Utilize brown fat in your body better and deal with the cold better, right? So he'd use these breathing techniques, and he would do all sorts of stunts, like he ran a marathon across an iceberg in like bare feet. He would like sit in freezing cold water for really long amounts of time, different things like that. He's done a lot, or he's claimed to do a lot of these crazy stunts. Turns out he didn't do a lot of them. His origin
No.
story is kind of like hotly debated because he always tells it a little bit different. His like his origin story of when he was a kid and he like discovered that he loved being in the cold and all this crazy shit. All that, whatever. You can read about that. Behind the Bastards did an episode on him, which is where I found out about what I want to talk about. Behind the Bastards podcast did a 2-piece on Wim Hof. It's fantastic. You can also read his biography, which I think is something about, I don't know, it says something about the Iceman. I can't remember the title about it now. But a lot of the stuff, the writer of that book wound up coming around and kind of chasing these leads and realizing a lot of this stuff wasn't true. So a study came out recently about these Wim Hof breathing methods, which were stolen from like Eastern, like Asian actual breathing methods that do work and do things. Wim Hof wound up with a body count with what he taught people because they'd go like do these deep breathing things in cold water and then drown because they would, you know, whatever. So that's cool of them. But so a study comes out that his breathing methods don't actually do what he says they do, which is very funny to me. And I was reminded of this. I don't remember who posted it on Instagram. It was one of the more well-known like physiologists. Wow, 2 beers in, man, Jesus. Um, Professor from Canada, I think. But it reminded me of a very fun story that I would like to tell you both because I would like your take on it, I guess. So Wim Hof had a family. Of course, he had a wife and he had a handful of kids. He basically abandoned them all to go and pretend to be a strange Iceman, and do weird shit like climb mountains with like no gear and hike all these mountains in bare feet and do incredibly stupid shit. His wife wound up depressed and took her own life at some point, and his kids have wound up in an orphanage and hated him. So there was at one point, one of his sons wanted to come back and try to repair their relationship. Uh, but at this point, Wim, I believe, was essentially homeless, or living in some sort of like shack type situation. And he enjoyed giving himself enemas with public fountains. Um, and he had apparently, according to one of his books, done this hundreds of times, given himself enemas in fountains. But on this particular day, he they had replaced like the nozzle to the fountain or replaced the fountain or whatever. So it went from one of those kind of like trickly ones to one of the really good ones you find like in school that has like awesome water pressure, and that's the one you go to after gym class. This public fountain had such a strong force of water that it perforated his asshole, uh, perforated his intestines. And so this man, this Wim Hof, the Iceman, a legend in the early 2000s, honestly, like among a lot of people who are looking to optimize their physiology, came to meet his son bleeding and shitting himself and had to beg to be driven to the hospital by his estranged son who wanted to repair his relationship. And after not seeing his dad for years, this is how he sees him in a state of just blood and shit draining down his body. And so if you look up to Wim Hof, I tell you what, he's not your
Stop it.
guy. He's not your guy.
Um,
It's one of those things where at no point would you expect what's coming next, because I sure didn't. I knew of Wim Hof. I knew who he was. I knew he was supposed to be hot shit, but man,
it
he's got some skeletons.
it sounds like he was the, I don't know. Have you guys heard of Liver King at all?
Oh yeah, I've heard of
Yep.
Liver King. Oh,
It
you're right.
reminds me of that a little bit, where he was like found out, and then like now he's like adjusting his whole scheme and plan to be famous, to like addressing like, yeah, I do use steroids, because he lied about it for so many years and whatnot. This motherfucker just
Yeah.
sounds like a crazy person that wanted clout and then just turned crazy because he started actually believing in what he was saying.
Yeah. Wim Hof, that's actually a really good comparison that I've never heard before, but I feel like Wim Hof was like Liver King before there was a Liver King and before there was like Instagram and all that shit.
Yeah,
Like before there was Instagram influencers. But it's the same thing, except like Liver King eats nuts and Wim Hof just like breathes weird in the cold
and bleeds out of his ass.
and
Could you
bleeds
imagine
out of
having
his
a
ass.
perforated ass? That's not the only asshole that was looking for a repair that day. Am I right? With the
Bro.
relationship and whatnot. But no, uh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad. Well, I'm not glad. That's too bad his wife took her own life. I know that's a sticking point to the story. But also, can I just say, how do you find? It's almost like the guy who found out how to milk a cow. You kind of got to ask, how did you find out that you liked water fountain enemas? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I That was never discussed in the information that I took in, but like, and I don't know if he ever discusses it because why would you? But yeah, I mean, at some point, like, I get it, you're home, and you know what? Maybe this goes full circle. Uh, Maybe he had a hot
maybe
date. He
maybe he
had a
had a
hot
hot
date,
date. Yep.
and he was trying to clean his fucking Fromunda cheese off, and you know, it was good, and maybe he felt a lot of people get into enemas were a thing. I think there's still a thing. People will do coffee
There's still a
enemas.
fucking thing. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man. People do coffee enemas. I prefer to drink it personally.
Yeah.
Coffee is delicious. I've gotten really into making coffee because I'm a middle-aged man, and I needed to get into like World War II history or smoking meats or something. And I guess I've chosen coffee now. But
There's time.
yeah, just drink your coffee, man. Like just drink it with your
Yeah.
mouth, not your butt.
What
Uh,
if you ate in your ass and shit out your face? I think South Park did a thing about that.
they did. They did. I don't remember the whole plot of that one, but yeah, they did. You shit out. You're all twisted. You're
I
all
always
twisted
thought
up.
I always thought that it couldn't get any worse than a kid putting their mouth around a water fountain. But
Like on it, like physically,
yeah,
like yeah. Oh, damn, Eric,
they
I'm
read
moving
that
over.
shit.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, dang.
Careful, that's a new mic, man.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, sure. You sure about that? Ugh.
Sure.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah,
No,
man.
yeah.
That was always gross. The kids that would do that. It's like no, like you can like pull it back a little. And here's
Yeah.
the thing. There's some poor kid that's doing that to a Wim Hof fucking enema fountain.
Yeah, exactly. That's the fucking
He's getting
first thing I thought of.
fucking booty water, dude.
Woof.
Like he doesn't even know it.
I got pink mouth. Yeah, that's disgusting, man.
That dude's got some fucking diseases. Tell you what, I'm no doctor, but fucking damn.
I just grew up
Pink
loving
mouth.
the taste of ass. My
I don't know
wife
why.
likes it.
My wife doesn't mind. Would you
Oh,
guys
it
ever
smells
eat
like
butt?
Eric's taint.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could ever eat butt. I don't know. Not into it.
No, don't knock
Yeah,
till you
me
try.
neither.
All right.
That reaction means Eric's done it. No, dude, I don't know. Just be careful with public drinking fountains, man. I guess that's a public service announcement from the old Brain Void podcast. Be careful with
Yeah.
the fucking public fountains because you don't know if Wim Hof has been around lately.
Yeah, voiding his ass on it.
Void is fucking butt void.
That's crazy. That's you know, Zach. I'm not gonna lie to you. When you were telling the story, I thought this was gonna go to some, like, oh, and he said this and did this. I did not expect the story to end with a perforated intestine with the estranged
Yeah,
son.
nobody does. Nobody does.
Um,
It's one of
I
my favorite
expected it to
stories.
go that direction. I didn't know you were going to go that route exactly, but I mean, I've known you longer.
Yeah, Rick's known me for a minute. We did live together for a few years, and you know, he knows me all right.
it kind of ties this whole podcast into the whole shit podcast. Remember for a while there, we went like 3 weeks straight talking about fecal matter.
Dude, we straight up, the beginning of this podcast. Everyone go back and listen. Give us 5 stars. Yeah, we talked
We
about
got to
poop a
rename it,
lot.
honestly, at this point.
Poop butt void.
Shitcast.
Shit, the butt void shitcast.
Cast your last
We just
bowel.
talk about our bowel movements every time.
Oh yeah.
Ass cast.
Oh yeah.
You guys ever put your
Ass-caster.
head on like your girlfriend's stomachs and hear the?
Oh God, yeah. She does it to me too. It goes both ways. My wife will do it. She's like, "Do you have to poop?" And sometimes I'll be like, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah.
Where's
And
the
we can't
drinking
have sex
fountain?
until I shower.
Yeah, I need a shower. Yeah, where's the drinking fountain? I'm gonna have to clean off when I'm done. I tell you what, man. I had Pancheros the other night. Shout out Pancheros, incredible burritos, absolutely fantastic. But like, if I have burritos from there, it's because I get it too spicy. It's nothing to do with like what they make. The quality of ingredients is not the problem. The problem is that I torture
I'm an
my
idiot.
insides with hot sauce, and I make it too spicy. I have like fucking a countdown begins. I have like 4 minutes to get to a fucking toilet. Like
Oh,
there's an
Got a
internal
burrito
clock.
fucking minute hand set at 30 minutes.
Yeah, just it's like one of those old kitchen timers. You had to turn it, and just tick go bing, and once that bing goes off, dude, game over.
I better be on
Straight
the
up
toilet.
fucking liquid. Oh no, yeah, it's liquid, and I'm wiping, man. I'm wiping a
Dude,
lot.
have you ever had the
Wiping that shit
blazing
raw.
sauce from Buffalo Wild Wings?
Not a full serving. I got a little cup of it and like dunked some shit in it once because I wanted to like see what it was all about. Uh, it wasn't as
Zach and
bad
I
as I
had
thought it was gonna be, to be fair.
Zach and I did the Apollo hot sauce from Hot Ones.
Oh yeah, when you brought those over to my house the one time.
Yeah,
That was good.
that's hot as shit.
Yeah, dude, I got
fucking
some.
hot. Remember that
Rick
pepper
wouldn't
you
eat
ate,
my
Eric?
fucking hot sauce out of a grenade. I have hot sauce in a grenade, and Rick wouldn't eat it. He said he wouldn't eat hot sauce out of an implement of war, and I don't understand why not.
Yeah.
I
Like, what do you put your hot sauce in, you fucking weirdo?
5 weeks ago, I ate a Carolina Reaper pepper just by itself,
Oh my
and
god.
Eric, tell him why.
I know. Well,
Yeah, we need the full thing. No.
No, tell him what your thinking was.
well, I don't know really what my thinking was, but I remember the situation, and situation was there's a bucket of them at my brother-in-law's house that they just purchased. We were there for the housewarming party, and he had a whole 5-gallon bucket full of them. And I said, okay, those exist there. And then my cousin's fiance, Joe, shout out to Joe.
Mojo.
He said that if
Hi.
I ate half, he'd eat half, and
It's
he
fair
fucking
trade.
took the most SpongeBob-esque type of bite, just a fucking sliver of it, because he, now he can't have
He
toothpaste in the
shaved
morning.
the outside of it with his fucking tooth and then handed it to Eric.
Oh,
And I said,
took a little bitch bite.
because we never agreed on the portion, so I just said a bite's a bite, and I just fucking ate the cocksucker. And let me tell you this:
Oh.
I tried doing the whole shack like it's nothing to me. Duh. That whole thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, Shaq on Hot Ones, fucking legendary.
But it was everything to me, and it fucking hurt. And I
You can
fucking
stop recording now.
yeah, I asked the people that were recording to stop recording because it was so fucking painful. And I was in the bathroom for 45 minutes drinking milk and Pepto-Bismol. And then
He got wrecked. It's dude. We got to show you the video at some point. It is amazing. Fucking watch this, Eric. Because no, your thinking was, oh, they can't be that hot, right? Oh, they're just everyone's overreacting. Everyone ever that's ever eaten this fucking pepper is overreacting. It can't be that bad. And Eric almost fucking shits his pants in front of everybody because it's so fucking hot.
yeah, it was very hot. I started sweating. It was the first time. And then I touched my eyes too, the classic fucking
Jesus.
fucking mistake. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh,
But so that subsided, like I said, after like 45 minutes where it was like tolerable and I could talk to people again. And I was trying to laugh it off like in the moment too, because I didn't want to make it a big deal. But then like, I'm sleeping and it's my grandma's house. It's scary. She's passed
is
away
your
since, but
grandma's house? She's haunted too. Is your grandma's house haunted? Mine is. My grandma's house is haunted as fuck. There's no other explanation.
the ghost of Reaper's past. I don't know, but but it's my sister's house now, and we were sleeping there, and I'm in the guest bedroom, and also I wake up like 3 a.m. with this. I could feel the pepper, and I'm not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating here. I could feel it traveling through my lower intestine, just fucking making its rounds, kissing babies, shaking hands. It was taking its time. And then I get to the to the breaking point. Like I'm grabbing the sheets. I felt like I was going with like I was sweating profusely.
Dude.
I was grabbing. I was like, oh! I was trying not to wake everybody up in the house. And I tell Kaylee, I'm like, you got to come with me to the bathroom. She goes, get the fuck away from me. And I'm like, all right.
That's the right answer. Yeah. I think that's fine of her to say I'm on her side.
Yeah,
What's she gonna do?
Very little
Yeah.
argument for me at that point.
Yeah, okay.
Please come to the bathroom while I fucking shit my entire ass out.
But I thought I was gonna die. But I just stayed in the bed because why I mentioned my grandma's house, because it's fucking scary, and I wasn't gonna go downstairs and fucking like
Dude.
run into a demon, be like, 1 second, let me shit myself before you eat me.
No, dude, you run into a demon, you'd be like, hey, you really want me right now? Is this how you're gonna do it?
Like my
Be like ghost fucking ghost pepper, motherfucker. Or whatever
ghost
it is.
pepper my whole booty hole.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
needless to say, like 8 o'clock the next morning, I had to drive to my parents' house who lived next door and just fucking drop a pipe shifter in their house. So
it's
that's
called
my
a Reaper pepper. Reaper. That's the guy that when you're dead, he brings you to the dead place. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was just a name. I don't know.
A bunch of
I'll tell
pussy.
you what. I have Carolina Reaper hot sauce. I have Carolina Reaper just like hot sauce, which I don't know. I don't think is as hot as like a raw pepper. I don't know what the rating is, like the Scoville is on it. But like this shit, I put like 3 or 4 drops on a burger once because I'm like, like usually 3, 4 drops of a hot sauce, like even if it's really hot, you're fine.
Yeah.
This motherfucker ripped my ass out. Like, so
and showed it to you.
dude, like
See?
for real. Yeah, look at this. See how it's all worn out from all this fucking shit you keep doing? Fucking disgust me. Stop eating ice cream, you fucking idiot. But like, yeah, no, just raw dog and a Reaper pepper is different. Have you guys seen? There's a show on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called, but like the first episode is the episode where they talk about like that thing where they chase cheese wheels down a hill. But the second episode is like pepper eating competition people.
I've seen that show. I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember what it's fucking called. It's absolutely incredible, and it blew me away because there's the one guy that like can just eat bags of Reaper peppers, and during this competition, he's just like doing a fucking Rubik's cube between levels of pepper as they're going up. Dude, if you haven't seen it, I'll fucking send it to our little our private chat. We should start like a fucking Brain Void Discord or something for everyone to like see all this bullshit we send. But like,
do it
for our fan.
Fuck yeah, for our one fan. Shout out to our one fan.
Sponsor the podcast.
Yeah, man. It's fucking heinous. Yeah, sponsor the podcast. Do anything for the podcast, please. Fuck it. Let's get this thing fucking moving, guys. I'm just sad. Nobody wants to listen to me, but I understand why. We talk about poop all the time.
We had 2 downloads on our last one. Same day.
Oh shit!
Same
day.
Same day. Like 15 minutes after I posted, 2 people downloaded it and listened to it.
Hey, shout out to those 2. If you listen to this one,
sorry guys.
Yeah, it was me.
It was me and Eric.
It was Eric and Derek Shanley.
Eric Hadley and Derek Shanley.
What do you do? Nobody cares. All right. Well, that's where we'll end the podcast. Zach will send you the video that I think we have somewhere floating around. It's the worst.
I gotta see it.
It's the absolute worst. But thanks for dropping in today. This has been Brain Void. Hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, there's always next time. Any final words from you guys?
If you eat hot peppers, don't touch your face holes.
Or your cock. And also RIP and happy birthday, Macho Man. You are, in fact, one cool dude. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Byron.